Jane Stout was a member of the class of 1978. She enjoyed being part of a smaller community. She had many high school classes that were both beneficial and rewarding, such as Mrs. Farmer's English class. Mrs. Farmer always took the time to smile and make every student feel worthy and cared about. Mr. Stenson's science classes were also a favorite of Jane's. At that time, she was thinking of a future in healthcare. Mr. Stenson's passion for science and learning in general made him very detail-oriented, and he expected the same from his students. Also, there was Mr. Sorensen's speech class, where he would push a person beyond their comfort zone to keep reaching for goals just beyond their grasp. Jane was also very active in high school, participating in careers in white, basketball, softball, golf, DECA, and the horticulture club. Jane went on to graduate from Briarcliff University with a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education. She has very fond memories of trips to Colorado, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Nevada, Florida, and the warm Caribbean. The most memorable family trips were Bogie and Black Hawk Lake. Jane now resides in Lake City, Iowa, still drawn to the rewards of living in a small town in the USA. She and her husband Perry have 2 sons, and she enjoys staying busy with involvement on boards at church, school, and in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jane Stout.
Thank you to the Stack Community School Educational Foundation for their interest in the support of Stack City, the home of the great Indians. Thank you for this distinguished honor and the opportunity to share in the evening together. I would like to thank also my family that is here tonight, Joanne and my son Joel and Shirley. And my husband is in medicine at a conference this weekend and isn't able to be with us. And our oldest son Lee goes to the University of Iowa and is participating in student government activities this weekend, so he wasn't able to be here either. Following graduation in 1978, a short 32 years ago, I planned on a career in healthcare. After 4.5 years of college, I graduated with a degree in sociology and a minor in elementary education and science. I had a goal of studying for my master's degree at Stout State College in Menominee, Wisconsin. And then I was going to teach at the university. However, I met my husband Perry while in college. He planned on a career in teaching and ended up in healthcare. We've made our home in Sioux City, Spencer for 10 years, and now we've been in Lake City for 17. I was quickly learning that flexibility would become an important part of my life, for I remember saying very clearly, I will never be a teacher, and I am. I will never live in a small town, and I am. My husband also is from a small town, Ayrshire, Iowa, just up the road a piece. We both realized the value of raising our family in a small, rural Iowa community. There were more opportunities in the city, but we shared those hometown ties. For me, it was happy memories of home based on family and fun. It was things right here in this building, things like building kites with Fred Earhart in the shop room of the high school, preparing for the annual kite flying tournament. It was backyard games of baseball, kickball, basketball, Andy over, and kick the can. The only family rule we ever had was just be home by dark. There were penny-a-pound airplane rides on Sunday afternoon at the Sac City Airport, was making hollyhock dolls in the backyard and roller skating on Friday night. It was walking to the Wigwam Bakery for raisin bread with frosting and Blarney stones, and riding the Cushman motorcycle to Grandma and Grandpa's for Schwann's ice cream. It was camping at Black Hawk Lake when friends and family would come for picnics and games, and sledding at Hagee Park with potluck soup suppers. It was fishing at the river and getting ready for the Sac County Fair. It was church activities like box socials, the annual Sunday School Christmas program, and the Easter morning sunrise service followed by breakfast. It was always a treat to go to the Carlson house for our birthdays and go to Iowa State football games and Buena Vista football games. We wanted our children to create memories of growing up in a community with the same opportunities and memories that taught the value of family and teamwork. And then there were the schools, small town schools. That's what we wanted. My school career began in nursery school with Dorothy Beaver. She had the nursery rhyme characters painted on her basement walls, and it continued on from there through 6th grade with Mrs. Owens, Mrs. Price, Mrs. Jacobson, and Mrs. Stout. Miss Silva was our principal in charge of the ship. Through the elementary years we went with Mrs. Freeman as our nurse in her crisp white uniform, heavily armed with her stinging bottle of McCuracone. Mrs. Grodelucian having us write the Star-Spangled Banner, and Mrs. Sorensen preparing us for a lifetime of physical fitness with the Presidential Physical Fitness Award. On to junior high and high school we went, each class being a stepping stone to prepare us for the future ahead. There were band carnivals, freezing mornings on the football field with marching band, and softball games in the summer. There were line drills in basketball, and as I tell the boys, yes, if we wanted to get home, we had to walk, and it was long. It was never too cold, never too icy, never too windy to be outside. There were speech competitions, home ec, band concerts, and being a candy striper at the Loring Hospital. Homecoming festivities and prom memories, small town traditions that are still being carried on today. There were lots of memories of the school building and the activities within, but it was the teachers who guided and encouraged me throughout the way that I remember. The teachers had a passion for learning. That's what it was about. But let me tell you, education does not always happen in the classroom. My son Joel often says, life is like a game of football. You start off even. Eventually, you'll either get ahead or you'll get behind. So stay focused on your goals and keep them just out of reach so you have something to work toward. Being from Southern Cal, our football coach is Brian Case, the Class A state championship football coach. He has had a positive influence on not only the football players, but all who know him. Coach Case constantly reminds everyone of their ABCs of dedication, not only on the field, but he himself lives a life of faith, family, and friends. I've been involved in education for most of my life in one way or another. And as amazing as it seems, there's a lot to be said for all I ever needed to know I learned in kindergarten. And Mother Goose rhymes are still valued as a way to help children learn to read. And my favorite is still the one, I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Sac City, my home, it's where my story began and where my heart will always be. Thank you.